Are your viewers clicking off your video in the first few seconds, leaving retention curves that look like this? Well, after writing scripts for a few big YouTubers with multiple videos blowing up and reaching over 100,000 views, I'll be showing you the 3 elements of every successful YouTube hook, the common mistakes new YouTubers make, as well as the secret formula all of the top YouTubers use to make their hooks irresistible. But first, what is the big mistake that many new creators make with their hooks that causes them to miss out on hundreds of thousands of views? And it actually pains me because I see so many new creators make the same easy to fix mistake. But first, let me tell you a story of a time I came across this common mistake. So just last weekend, I was trying to watch some football highlights. But when I clicked on the video, it was just one of those troll videos where they show some FIFA footage from the video game. So I realized that I've been clickbaited, and so I just clicked off and found another video. Now, while this creator was just clickbaiting to get some extra ad revenue, it shows that the first few seconds of your video needs to meet the expectations of the title and thumbnail, otherwise they're just gonna click off. I've mastered YouTube script writing in 7 days, and this hurts your watch percentage, which then hurts your views. But many small YouTubers might be accidentally clickbaiting their viewers without even realizing it. And I think I know the reason why. So back in the day, many of the YouTube gurus said that having call to actions to like and subscribe would help with growth. Now technically they were right, but many YouTubers took this advice the wrong way. Many creators would open their video with a "thanks for watching, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell," and then they'd start yapping on about their day. But while you might get some extra likes this way, you actually hurt the metric that actually matters, and that is your watch time. So how should you start your videos instead? Well, there is a 2-step framework that you can follow so that you actually deliver on your title and thumbnail. And this will stop your viewers from instantly clicking off your video and giving you retention graphs that look like this. And I call this the VV framework. And starting out, we have the first V, which stands for visual. So the opening frame of your video must visually match the thumbnail. And as an example, in Mr. Beast's video, I spent 7 days in solitary confinement. The thumbnail shows him sitting in a white room with an orange jumpsuit. And when you see the opening few seconds of the video, it's Mr. Beast in a white room with an orange jumpsuit, which takes us to step number 2. And the second V stands for verbal. That means that what you say verbally in the opening sentence should match the title. And if we use the Mr. Beast example again, the title of his video is "I spent 7 days in solitary confinement," and the opening line is
"I'm going to attempt to spend the next 7 days in solitary confinement."
Notice how they line up quite well. And by following the VV framework, you should now be able to stop your viewers from clicking off in the opening few seconds of your video. But how do you actually write the rest of your hook? Well, I've reverse engineered hundreds of hooks from all the top YouTubers, and they all follow a simple 3-step framework. And mastering this framework will take your retention graphs from this to this. But starting with step 1 of the framework, we have the opening line of the hook. Now there are many types of hooks you can use, but to make things simple, I'll show you the 3 hooks that I use the most. And the third type is one that I don't see too often. But starting with the first type of opener, we have the question hook. This is where you ask your viewer a relatable question. And I use this hook to open this very video. Are your viewers clicking off your video in the first few seconds, leaving retention curves that look like this? Now the first reason why the question hook works so well is because you're engaging with the viewer and getting them to subconsciously answer the question in their head. And this is actually a common copywriting technique. If you can make the viewer say yes in their head multiple times, then it will be easier to get them to say yes when you ask them to buy something or to sign up to your email list. The second type of hook is called the statement hook. And the goal of this one is to make an outlandish claim or to say something controversial. Here's an example. If you're posting YouTube shorts, then you might be killing your YouTube channel without even realizing it. And this works because people who post YouTube shorts are curious to know whether they're making a big mistake by posting shorts. Now for the third type of hook, we have the gamified hook. And this is where you give some sort of challenge or game to the viewer. Here's an example. But first, I want you to take a look at these 2 thumbnails. And I want you to tell me which one will receive a higher click-through rate. Notice how you're actively playing along with the video. And this trick works very well for increasing watch time. But even if you manage to hook your viewers with the opening line, your job is not done yet, because you've just started a ticking timer where you only have a few seconds to tell the viewer why they should keep watching. This is where the credibility line comes into play. And there are 2 ways that you can do the credibility line. The first way is to build authority by telling the viewer what you already accomplished. And that's what I did at the start of this video. By mentioning that I've worked with some big YouTubers, as well as written scripts that have gone viral, I proved that I know what I'm talking about. But maybe you don't have any real world results just yet, and that's okay, because you don't actually need to be an expert to get views. And that is where the second way of building authority comes into play. Instead of faking yourself as some expert, what you do instead is reframe the video from the angle where you're just a student sharing what you've learned. And this is what I did when I first started. And a powerful way to show authority here is by using input bias. Now, I first heard about this from Apraline Alter, so credit goes to her. But the way this works is you basically just show the amount of time or effort that you put into learning something. And I actually used the input bias for the hook in the first section of this video. Well, I've reverse engineered hundreds of hooks from all the top YouTubers, and they all follow a simple 3-step framework. And now that you've learned about the input bias, you're going to be seeing it everywhere on YouTube. People use it in their titles too. By saying that she's watched 151 celebrity house tours, she has instant credibility because anyone that's watched that much has to know what they're talking about. Which takes us on to the third part of the hook, and this is where you set up the rest of the video. And I got this from Ed from Film Booth, so shout out to him. But to write this section of the script, we first need to revisit the title and thumbnail of our video. If your viewer clicked on your video in the first place, then it's probably because the title and thumbnail opened a curiosity loop in their head. So you want the setup portion of your hook to address these curiosity loops. But let's take a look at an example video to better understand this concept. Here we have a video that's titled "Want to be rich? Don't start a business." And on the thumbnail we have text saying "the truth" and $100,000 per month. So when a viewer sees this on their homepage, what questions might they have that makes them want to click? Well, after seeing this title and thumbnail, you might be wondering, if not starting a business, how else can I get rich? What are the common misconceptions about business? And is there a step-by-step guide to achieve this? And you can use these questions to write the setup portion of your hook. So in this example, you would say something like this. So in this video, I will reveal an alternative method to get rich that doesn't involve starting a business, the common misconceptions about business you need to avoid, as well as a step-by-step guide to achieving this goal. See how each of these statements match the open loop questions we went over earlier? And by doing this, we reaffirm to the viewer that the rest of the video is going to cover what they want to know. So those are the 3 steps involved in writing a banger hook. But I've actually created a ChatGPT prompt that allows me to write these hooks in half the time. Now, I've mentioned this prompt in the past, but I've never actually made a step-by-step walkthrough on how to use it. So let's walk through writing the entire hook for this very video using this prompt. So this is the prompt right here. Now what we're going to do is copy this entire thing and we're going to paste it into ChatGPT. Now the main part you have to fill in right here is the video title. So going to this script right here, what we're going to do is just copy the video title, paste it in. Now something you could do is also add a bit of information about the video. So you just put in video topic right there and then give a brief summary, because sometimes the title doesn't fully show what the video is about. But for this example, we're just going to do this, hit enter. And ChatGPT is going to give you 12 hooks that you could potentially use. It's going to give you a list of open loop questions as well as the input bias line. Basically just look through and see which hook you like the best. Now you might need to change it a little bit, but it gives you a good start. So let's use this first hook right here. Do you struggle to keep viewers hooked in the first few seconds of your video? So boom, right there we have the hook. This is the opening line. Now for the credibility line, usually input bias line, they're just going to spit like some random stuff back at you. Most of the time this stuff isn't relevant, but like this one right here is a decent one. I've analyzed hundreds of viral videos to understand what makes a perfect hook. Now I want the input bias section to be unique to me. So to make the input bias section relevant to me, I simply tell ChatGPT, I have written scripts for a few big YouTubers with many videos reaching over 100,000 views. Can you use this as my input bias? You're just chatting with ChatGPT and then it's going to write out the new input biases. So they've gone ahead and written it right there. I've written scripts for a few big YouTubers with many videos reaching over 100,000 views, and here's what works. Boom, that's the credibility line. Now for the setup, we're just going to go through and pick 3 to 4 that we prefer the most. What are the common mistakes? I like this one. What elements should every successful hook include? And I think the secret formula, how to top YouTubers ensure their hooks are irresistible. This could be one as well. So you just want to take the ones you like, paste them in here, and then we're going to reword them to kind of make sense for the video. Now, usually what I do is I kind of merge the credibility line with the setup line. So instead of, and here's what works, I kind of merge it. So I just kind of do that. I'll just reword it a little bit. Well, after writing scripts for a few big YouTubers with many videos reaching over 100,000 views, and then I'm going to have the videos kind of flashed up on the screen. So like the visuals do matter as well. It's not just the writing itself. So you want to pair visuals with the script itself, but you kind of combine these two lines together, right? With many videos reaching over 100,000 views, I'll be showing you, then you have the setup portion. So basically you just reword these to kind of flow better. So pretty much the setup portion is going to reveal what the rest of the video is going to be about, right? So you need to make sure you know what you're going to write about in the rest of the script. So I already have the outline created, so I know what my script is about. So that's kind of why I picked these 4, because they did match with what my video was about, right? I am showing the common mistakes. I am showing the elements they should use, secret formulas. Now I usually go with 3, so I'll just write the 3 elements of every successful YouTube hook, the common hook mistakes new YouTubers make, as well as the secret formula that all of the top YouTubers use to make their hooks irresistible, right? So that's basically what it is. And as you can see, I address all of these open loop questions. The 3 elements of every successful hook, I address this one. The common hook mistakes new YouTubers make, I address it there, as well as the secret formula that the top YouTubers use, right? I address both of these. So as you can see, that's how I write the hooks. Like, it's pretty straightforward. ChatGPT is brainstorming what these open loop questions are, and you basically just copy and paste. You do have to reword it a little bit so it flows nice, but that is basically how you use it. Now, you don't want to do exactly what ChatGPT gives you because it's not always perfect, but you just look at it. Maybe you want to tweak some bits. So like, for example, here, I want to tweak this opening bit. Now, this is a decent hook. It's not the worst hook, right? But maybe you want to change it a little bit. Now, the reason I did this change is the initial hook, it wasn't really specific enough. It just said struggling to hook your viewers. So I changed it to, are your viewers clicking off your video in the first few seconds? It's a very specific thing. It shows a pain point that people have, leaving retention curves that look like this. And then I'm going to show an image of a retention curve that's like crashing epically in the first 30 seconds. This makes it more specific. It's kind of digging deeper into those pain points. So I like the sound of this better. And that's a solid hook right there. So that's how I did it. Pretty fast. Obviously, I'm trying to explain it while I'm doing it, which slowed it down a little bit. But once you get into the groove of it, it actually gets really easy. So there it is. So that's how you use the ChatGPT prompt to write your hooks in half the time. And if you want to try it out, then click the link in the description to download it for free. Now, you will be signed up to my newsletter in the process, but there's a ton of value there, so it's well worth it. But we're not quite done yet with writing your hook, because I'd say we're around 80% of the way there. And if you want to make your hooks truly irresistible, then you need to do what all the top YouTubers are doing. And this could be the difference between your video getting 10,000 views and 100,000 views. So I came across this trick from Ali Abdaal scriptwriter George Blackman, so credit goes to him. But to write a banger YouTube hook, you need to include these 3 magic ingredients. And it works a little differently whether you're an educational channel or an information-based channel, so I'll show you the framework for both. But first, let's do it for an educational channel. The 3 magic ingredients that you need to include are your target audience, their desired transformation, and what's at stake. So let's go back to the example hook we've written for this video. Let's see if we can spot the 3 elements, starting with element number 1, which is the target audience. In the setup portion, I mentioned new YouTubers, which is the target audience for the video. But moving on to element number 2, which is the desired transformation, in the credibility line, I mentioned working on videos that have reached over 100,000 views. I also mentioned the secret formula to make your hooks irresistible. And these are both desired transformations for my target audience. But lastly, for element 3, what's at stake? This must address why the information in the video is important for the person watching. And I do that in the opening line by digging into the pain points of my target audience. I'm basically saying, if you don't watch this video, then your attention graphs will continue to see massive dips in the opening seconds. But I don't just stop there, because when introducing the next section of the script, I go harder on the stakes, mentioning that you could be missing out on hundreds of thousands of views. I also mentioned that the mistake is easy to fix, which shows that you'll be silly not to listen. So that's how you do it for an educational channel. But what about an entertainment channel? Well, it works a bit differently here. Instead of target, transformation, and stakes, you will do character, concept, and stakes. And to show this concept in action, let's look at a video by Mr. Beast called Protect the Yacht, Keep It. Here's the opening hook for the video.
This is officially your yacht. The only catch is I'm gonna do everything in my power to destroy it. And it's up to you to protect it from attacks like 100 cannonballs, massive explosives, and so much more. And you have exactly 24 hours to build defenses for your brand new yacht.
Notice how every single word has a reason for being there. And after watching the opening 20 seconds, the premise for the video is already clear. The characters are introduced. We have Mr. Beast and the contestant. The concept is clear. Mr. Beast will try to destroy the yacht while the contestant tries to defend it. And the stakes are revealed. The contestant only has 24 hours to build his defenses. And after following this simple strategy, Mr. Beast is able to bring in over 100 million views on every single video. Now, earlier I mentioned how to write a banger YouTube hook to blow up your channel, but the job still isn't done, because if the rest of your video is not interesting, then your viewers won't stick around and they'll just click away. So check out this video to learn 4 life-changing script writing hacks to keep your retention curves flat throughout the entire video.